Alright, just arrived is the Creation Studios Samus. Here's the shipper box. Yeah, I mean, just says Samus right on the brown box, so no hiding what it is. Alright, let's get it open. Alright, here's the art box. It's from Creation Studio. Let's give her a turn around. It says Metroid on the side, and you have the screw attack symbol, and then Samus Aran. Alright, so let's get it open. Alright, here's everything unboxed and unwrapped. So when I first, opened this thing up, I don't know, I mean, it feels really, each piece feels really light, like the base is actually heavy, the heads are super light, and as is like every other part. The ponytail of the second header was off, so it had broken off, and the gun, it was like really wrapped up in plastic, and then tape was over that plastic to hold the gun together. When I finally got that unwrapped, I mean, like I had to like cut the tape very carefully and undo it. The gun had dislodged from the hand, and you can tell like it was kind of like glued in. I'll show pictures of it, but that also broke off. So what I did was I re-glued the ponytail back on here and re-glued the gun back on the hand. Yeah, so here are all the pieces. It does come with a second, to display the second head, like another stand, and it's like a partial body, and it comes with gloves as well. So let's get her assembled. Alright, this is Zero Suit Samus Aran fully assembled. Assembly was pretty easy once you get the wrapping off. I will say that the statue itself, I mean, having statues from Sideshow and XM and some customs, the actual statue is extremely fragile. It's light, very light, so I'm not sure what kind of materials they used, but the hair, like you touch it and it just, I don't know, it feels like a very thin plastic. And it almost like, once you bump into it, you look it wrong, it could break. So you have to be very careful with the hair strands if you do end up getting this piece. It does come with a second headstand, and with the second portrait, which is more in like mouth open. Like her mouth's a little bit open there, so you can kind of see that. The head sounds pretty cool. It's more like a concrete version. I mean, I wish they would have just done like the Zero Suit. I mean, it is the Zero Suit there, but the actual colors and stuff, like, I don't know, stone or whatever it is. The base is actually very heavy. I mean, nothing too extreme or anything. You have, it's a rock color base, some hints of brown in there. You have a clear resin for water on each of the points over here. I mean, that gives off a pretty cool effect. I mean, it doesn't, it's a simple base. So this part just kind of sits here with the, Metroid symbol, which is the, the screw attack. So it just kind of just sits there. And on the back, it lists the edition. So there were 119 of the Zero Suit Samus made. I have number 0, which I'm assuming is like the AP of it. So, it just kind of sits there in the base. So the Samus keys in with one foot here. This foot, it kind of moves. So it just kind of rests on the base, but it's not perfect. So this comes from a custom company called Creation Studios. I'm assuming they're custom. I doubt this is a licensed piece. But you know, it's kind of odd because they did sell like on websites and stuff like that. So that's where I got mine from. So it wasn't like a hidden Facebook group like other customs are. But overall, it's pretty nice. Like I said, the Zero Suit Samus first appeared in Metroid Zero Mission. That was the remake of Metroid 1. And after the, you escape after defeating Mother Brain and the planet Zeb starts to explode, then Samus is chased by the space pirates in space, and her ship is shot down, and she crash lands on the planet and next to the space pirate mothership, and she's without her power suit. So this is the costume design that they used in that game, and it was called Zero Suit because the game Zero Mission. So and ever since then, she's kind of had this costume to depict like whenever she loses her power suit or you die in the game. And prior to that, they would always show Samus without her costume, even going back to the first Metroid on the NES. If you beat it under, I think, 2 hours or so, it shows her in like a bikini or something like that. I think she had green or purple hair or something. I don't know. But then Metroid 2, which is the first Metroid that I ever played on the Game Boy, again, I think she was like in more of like a swimsuit type outfit. Same with Super Metroid. And it really wasn't until the remake, Metroid Zero Mission, where she has this costume. Now, this one specifically is actually from Metroid Dread, the fifth Metroid series. So, but the art, this is actually based on artwork by Alaria V Art on Instagram. So that person created an art piece pretty much in this kind of pose, Samus in this pose. And I think it was maybe from the knees up. I don't know, I have to check again. But she created that artwork or he or she, I don't know who it is. But, they may have sold prints of it. And they also did like a Dread version of the suit as well. And that's, I think, version B of this that you could get. And I was tempted to get that one because it almost looked like it was like a point in time of the Zero Suit, or sorry, not the Zero Suit, but the Power Suit going over Samus, because it kind of had Power Suit elements, but it was kind of like in the Zero Suit, kind of skin tight look, not really like a suit of armor. That's the only thing that kind of turned me off from it. And if it had come with like her power cannon, I would have gotten that instantly, because it would show like, okay, here's her Zero Suit. And then even if it's the same position, but if she had her her cannon with her instead of the gun, then and they would have had a portrait of the helmet that would have been like a perfect Metroid 5 like statue. But again, this is not. I don't believe this is licensed because, she's very over sexualized. Nintendo would never, do something like that. Never allow a company to do that. So, in terms of quality, we'll go up. I mean, like I said before, the portraits themselves are extremely light, but the body has some weight to it, not a lot. My sideshow pieces definitely are a lot heavier, even the female ones. But in terms of the quality of the sculpt, it's really good. Samus, the Nintendo character, she's, they don't make her overly complicated in terms of her Zero Suit. It's basically like a jumpsuit. But here's the back symbol that she has in the games. The hair is very yellow, very like anime type. I think in Metroid Dread, they did have like 3D models of her, and she was a bit more fit. She had some musculature in her legs and her arms. So this again is not an accurate depiction of her in the game. She's a bit more muscular. But Samus is supposed to be a very tall character, so she's supposed to be like over 6 feet without the suit. With the suit, she's you know, close to, 6'7", 6'8", something like that. So yeah, again, this Nintendo's most probably powerful character. I mean, with all our upgrades in the games, and yeah, not much else to say. If you had a chance to get this for retail, I think it retailed for like $350. But now people are like trying to flip it for more. It's my first major Metroid, like 1/4 character. Statue. I did have the first 4 figures light suit, but I never opened it, and I ended up selling it because it just wasn't. I don't know. I just didn't want video game, statues and things like that. But now I regret it because both of the first 4 figures, quarter scale Samus figures, go for a lot. So like now they're just unattainable. So I'm hoping that they either make a dark suit, because from Metroid 2 Echoes, that was one of my favorite suits, or the the gravity suit, which is like the purple version. Either of those, if first 4 figures are making the quarter scale, I'll probably get that. But yeah, so here it is, and she has I'm keeping this face on her. She's a bit more serious, doesn't have the open mouth. So again, just be careful with the hair if you do get this. I don't have any other. Let me see. I'll put one of the sideshow statues next to her so we can just look at size, and I'll bring out some Amiibos and things like that. So you can, if you're not a quarter scale collector, then you can kind of see what the size is of her. So again, here's another 360 of her. Looks really good from afar. Even close. I mean, she looks good. I mean, she does. It's just a very sexualized version of Samus. So, but overall, looks good. I mean, I would say this is more akin to how she looked in probably Metroid 2 Echoes at the end, except for the horrible face sculpt, or probably the Smash Brothers games where she didn't look as fit. But recent versions of Samus in her Zero Suit, she looks very fit, just like in Metroid Fusion, things like that. So yeah, I've been a fan of Metroid for a very long time. My first one was Metroid 2. I think I've beat all of them except for Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I just did not like the Switch controls. And Metroid Other M, that one didn't feel like a Metroid game, so I never finished that one. And the original Metroid I never beat. That was, it's so hard to play that one because you can't kneel down and stuff like that. And everything kind of looks the same. But I did beat Zero Mission, which is the remake of that. But it doesn't really count. But all the other ones I've beaten, including Dread, which I started playing on hard mode for a bit, but I just haven't had time to complete it. But again, here it is, and what else? The gun looks pretty good. Again, like it kind of broke off, but I glued it back. So each of the breaks that this had, it's not something that you could see. Like the break was in between the glove and the handle. For the second portrait, it was the ponytail connecting to the headpiece that broke. So both of those I super glued. A few minutes later, it's fine. So. All right, let's get some other statues here, and then I'll compare how she looks. All right, here is Samus next to the customized Sideshow Jean Grey. Jean is slightly taller. Tried to get them around the same size, but Jean is sitting up a bit higher than Samus. But again, Jean's not that tall of a character, and Samus is still taller than her. So from there, Jean's up a bit. You can see from right here, and Samus is still taller than her. So I kind of get right there. You can see that Samus is still higher than her. So in terms of quarter scale height, so I think she lines up to a quarter scale statue. Samus is a very tall female character. So so let's get some Amiibos out. So if you don't collect statues and stuff, but you have Amiibos and stuff, and you have this coming in or planning to get it, well, you'll see how big she really is. All right, here is the Christian Studios quarter scale Samus Zero suit against the Samus Amiibos that have come out. You can see just even the portrait itself, the portrait stand, is probably taller than most of the boxes, or is almost as tall as each of the boxes. So it's a very big figure. Yeah, so here is the Zero suit from Super Smash Brothers. You can see it's a little bit different. Let's try to clear this thing up. It's a little bit different. The boots are a little bit different. They have like more light to them. The gun itself is kind of like blue, but have the same like yellow hair and the streaks coming down from the side. So yeah, so you can see how large the figure actually is. Let's try to get it there. So yeah, it's a big figure. She's I just measured it before. She's 19 inches in height, which would put her about 6'4" if you put it out. So that's 6'4". I mean, yeah, she does have heels on, but that would 6'4" before the power suit. So that is pretty accurate, I would say, for how tall Samus is supposed to be. So yeah, so here it is. I have my games somewhere. I would bring them out, but maybe I'll show it in a different video. But yeah, here it is. Looks great, and you know, if you're a Metroid fan, this would be a great Zero suit Samus to get. I know First 4 Figures did one a long time ago, but I never really liked that one. The face sculpt was kind of weird. Again, the First 4 Figure stuff is mainly based on Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, so they kind of have to go based off the license for those games. So that's why you had the light suit, you had the regular suit, and the Zero suit. They have smaller figures. I think the Ridley was a smaller scale, but I think that was more for Prime 1. Yeah, so here it is again. It's pretty cool. So thank you for watching.